Hey guys, Luke here, and today I got another knife review for you. This time it's more of a micro knife review, because these things are tiny and super cute. We've got two Spyderco Dragonfly 2s. They're really small wee EDC knives, great wee utility blades for anything and everything that you could think of. Well, for the size of it, of course. But these are great wee knives. I've got two slight differences here between, other than the colours of the handles. There's slight variances between these two, but we'll get into that later. Straight into it though, role of use for these knives is an EDC knife. It's purely because it's so small, you will be limited to what you could probably do with it. If you're someone that enjoys larger EDC knives, I've got... Sorry about that. My Manix 2 lightweight. Like, there's a big size difference here. If I just open that, set that there, you see, like, it dwarfs it. Like it's this is a much larger knife. But the wee Dragonfly 2 is a great wee EDC knife that you can actually slip into your pocket watch pocket in your jeans. It fits in there really well. And with the weight of it, you actually nearly forget that it's there. It is super light. Another thing that you could probably fit one of these into is just a backpacking day hike type roll. Because it's so light, you can just put it anywhere that you want, providing it's small enough, which it probably should be. Providing it's a small enough area for you to store it. But anyway, getting into the size and weight of these knives, we've got just under a 2.5 inch blade with just under a 2 inch cutting edge. We've got just under an overall 5 inches for the overall knife. And a weight of, now this is pretty outstanding, of 1.2 ounces. Now that is stupid light. It's so light you completely forget it is there. The knife itself is just a great wee knife. Super light. Normally I'd talk about steel and blade shape and all that now, but I'll come back to that in a second. But we'll talk about the handle for now. It's a FRN, or fiberglass reinforced nylon, and it is a beautiful little handle. Remember, I've got small hands, but I can actually get a full hand grip on it and still a wee bit out the back. That's because of the finger choil. The way it's designed, it gives us a finger choil, unlike the Delica 4 and the Endura 4, which I really hope they do. I really want to have a finger choil on those knives, but we've got it here and it's perfect. It locks it in so well with the blade. It's just perfect. But the handle, we've got some bi-directional texturing. If I can get it to focus for you. Go. See the way the texturing, well, you probably know Spyderco's own bi-directional texturing by now, but it's a very effective, very grippy texture. It's brilliant for EDC. It gives you plenty of control. Also, there you can see that it's completely absent of stainless steel liners. Why do you need it in a knife of this size especially? I don't understand why someone would do it. But no liners, it's super light, and for the roll that you're going to put this in, you're not going to need liners. It's plenty strong, and it just works. Overall construction of the knife, we've got screwed construction. There you can see the screws for the pivot, and the pivot bar of the pivot screw for the lock bar, and then it's a male-female screw bolt thing here for the pocket clip, which is reversible. And that lock bar, lock up on this knife is rock solid, and I'm really surprised at that, because normally for a knife of this sort of size I would have thought that we would have had a bit of play going on, but it's a perfect lockup. It's perfect in every way. The speed of deployment for this knife, well, this particular knife is a little slow. You see, it's sort of like hiccups, but if I get a bit of wrist going, it flies out perfectly. Oh, caught myself there a little. But yeah, it works brilliantly. The yellow one here, it flies out so fast, no wrist needed, and it's actually so smooth. I can jiggle it down a little. If I can see that, it's a very smooth knife overall. Now, what else could there be? Oh yes, pocket clip. I'll touch on that now. It's that loved by many loop over pocket clip wire kind that Spyderco offer. It comes standard with this bright stainless steel type look, but I wanted something, well, basically I just wanted to play about a bit, so I took a bit of a blowtorch action to it. And I don't know if you can make that out in the camera, but there's some blues, purples, bronzes and all there, so if I put the blade away, let's see. No, I don't think you can see that very well, but trust me, there's a bit of colour there and I liked it. It's a wee bit less shiny out of the pocket if there's anything that can be seen clipped outside the pocket. Now we'll talk about steel and blade shape. Now, the standard DragonFly2 comes with this beautiful leaf shape, well, modified leaf shape that Spyderco are known for. It's like a signature design that they have. We've got a beautifully aesthetic and weight reducing swedge that runs up here the top spine of the knife, and I think it adds so much to the aesthetics. It's such a pretty knife. And we've got full flat ground VG10, and that as a result means it is Seki City made in Japan. If I can get it to focus for you, there you go. See there, Seki City, Japan, with Spyderco's VG10. It's just a brilliant knife. Deployment hole is a little, well, it's a small deployment hole, but then again it is a very small knife. Plenty to get in there and get the knife out fast enough for you. This variant actually is their Spyderco Dragonfly2 Salt. It comes with H1 steel, which is a rust proof steel. We've now moved on from stainless steels to stain proof. Again, made in Seki City, Japan, but we're given Spyderco's H1, which is an interesting steel, I must say. I don't know an awful lot about the characteristics of it. Well, I know how it cuts and all that, but I don't know the composition and all that. I'll put in annotation or down in the description a link to the Apostle P's video on Campfire Talks, Dragonfly2, and he actually goes into a lot of detail about the H1 steel. So, and it is an interesting thing, especially if you're interested in steels. But from my use, I've noticed that it dulls faster than the VG10, but it's an awful lot more like Oz 8 or Oz 8A. It's like a good Oz 8 in my eyes in edge retention, but the fact that you get no threat of rust is just fantastic. You basically don't need to worry about having a knife in your pocket if you're going into salt water. You just have it and it'll just work perfectly, or even fresh water, it doesn't matter, it just works. Otherwise with VG10 you might actually, like, even though it's a very good rust resistant steel, you might actually run into some problems down the line. This orange one isn't actually a standard version. This is a recent one that has been released. Normally they come in a black FRN handle, still with this blade, but that's normally how it comes out of the factory in a standard configuration. But there is other variants that you could get of the Dragonfly2. There is currently a sprint run in super blue steel with like a grey blue handle, which is actually rather nice, but I prefer the brighter colours personally. You can get it in G10, which is like an olive colour. Again, very nice, but that one's pricey. That's near £100 over here. and you can actually get it. I don't know if you can still get it in ZDP 189 or not, but I know for sure it definitely was offered for a time. And of course, if you're really a fan of all stainless steel knives, you can get it in the stainless steel handles, but keep in mind it does nearly double the weight. It takes it up to 2.5 ounces. But now that I say that, that really doesn't make it much of a difference. That's still a super light knife. But yeah, the edges of both knives, they take a brilliant edge. VG10 is a knife steel that I personally love. H1 is a steel that I'm beginning to love a lot. It takes a great edge, it holds a rather good edge, and you get lots of precise cutting ability. Actually, with that, I'll just mention about the jimping. It is near perfect jimping on the spine and the troil of the knife. It's near perfect. Near perfect. My favourite that they do is on the Manix 2. This is my favourite jimping on a knife. It's just my personal favourite. Some competitive options of this knife. I'll touch on the price of it, because that is a downside to this knife. It is pricey for what it is. Keep in mind, it's a little over it's like 2.5 inch blade. It's a tiny wee knife and it's expensive. The standard variation with VG10 black handle, £48 to £50. Like, it's an expensive knife, especially for all the size of it. The two variants you see there, the H1 in the yellow handle is £55 in that sort of ballpark, and the orange one's running near 60, which is expensive. It's a lot of money, especially for what you're getting. Well, you're getting a quality blade, but it's a small quality blade. There is other competitors out there. Bird do their own version of the DragonFly2, but I only have two knives here that I could really compare size and weight wise. Well, size wise with one and weight wise with another. And they're both UK legal, which is point. They're locking knives. They are not legal to carry in the UK, just so you know. But know your own local laws. It's important that you obey them and all that other stuff. But something that I will compare to this is the Bird Turn. This is a UK legal non-locking pocket knife. It's very comparable to the Dragonflies. A little larger, I will be honest, but right in the ballpark with weight. Much more affordable. This is in like the £25 mark. Very cheap. Well, more affordable. But you're getting less quality steel. You're getting a cheap G10. And personally, I prefer the Dragonflies over the Turn. But this is a legal option for us UK people. Another one that I do have, which I'm actually really enjoying, is the Boker Plus Nano. This is the Nano 42. This is the non-locking variation. Does come in a locking model. Personally, this puts a smile on my face so much. I just really enjoy it. It's heavy though. This is all stainless steel this side, and it is heavy. But size-wise, it's actually a little smaller overall. Similar cutting edge ability, but nowhere. 440C in my eyes is not as good as VG10 or H1. That's just my opinion, of course, but I still really like this wee knife. It just puts a smile on my face. It's just one of those things. The pocket clip is really it's a very nice pocket clip, I think. And yes, this is a Dave Curtis design knife, and if you don't know Dave Curtis, go check out his website. He has got some beautiful knives, and the custom variation of this, which is a very nice wee knife. I'm really wanting one at some point, but sure, we'll see what happens in the future, of course. But yeah, these two wee knives are fantastic, and something I do want to say about them is that by carrying a knife of this size and weight, it means where it's legal, of course, you don't feel just so bad about carrying a knife like this, which is a massive difference between that which is a Microtech DOC, which is a very nice knife, and the Dragonfly2, because this is so light. This would be your utility blade, and this is more of your toy for the day. This is a knife that you'll play with, and this is a knife that you'll just use. And by having this at this weight, you'll not feel bad about carrying this and playing with this and actually using this whenever you use it. But anyway, thanks for watching. Be safe, God bless, and see you when I see you. Bye.